starts off really innocent. Long-term fan, please can I make a booking? Sends an invalid address, and then they make a deal. And here's where the fun begins. They have a session that day, and Keegan wishes to reschedule for the next day at 12:30. Client is so understanding, rearranges his day to suit him, and they agree at 12:30. At 12:27, Keegan messages him, hey mate, I'm going to be 20 to 30 minutes late, essentially. And client very reasonably says, okay, I'm here. At 1:37, Keegan's still a no-show. For those playing along, that's over an hour late. So client understandably says, hey mate, it's over an hour late. I want my money back. I don't want to keep going through with this because you're fucking me around, essentially, but in the most calm and gentle way. And Keegan starts off strong with a capital D. Defense. Starts off with a sob story that is not his client's issue, and then says, you don't want to finish a tattoo because of one measly hour? And at 1:48, he goes, I'm here now, ready to go. Cool. That our appointment was at 12:30, mate. I'm just going to quickly pause it right here. So something I didn't highlight there was he said deposit is non-refundable, like the deposit's lost. Funny thing about a non-refundable deposit, it's not exactly non-refundable. If the service provider is unable to provide the service within a reasonable time, the consumer can ask for that deposit back and they're entitled to it. An hour wait time is not a reasonable time, especially because I'm sure if he was an hour late, Keegan would have been like, sorry mate, you lost your deposit. I've booked someone else. Anywho, moving right along, back to the D, a little bit of sob story to defend his actions. A little bit of an R there with the reversal. I'd really like to continue to do this base, mate. And straight back on that attack. If that's the road you want to take, again, reversal, I'll have to take legal action and require the full amount to be paid for the entire tattoo, as I've had to do 4 times in my career, and we were successful and I got all the money back 4 times. Oh, that was beautifully backed by some A-class bullshit disguised as the truth. And again, we have some strong reversal there. It's not what I want to do. I really respect your time. I literally communicated that with you. Mate, if you respected his time, you wouldn't have fucking wasted it. And straight back on the attack with the legal. This man and systems abuse is so well rehearsed. Now, I just wanted to highlight this bit in blue because I find it very strange. As an example, the current deal with agent is if rent is in by Monday morning each week, we are good. If I miss that, then we start the process of closing up and then advertising. It's Saturday, and having this booking meant that I can pay to cover by Monday morning for the shop. Cool, so you sold a service so that you could pay your bills because you're clearly not managing them correctly or your money correctly at all. And then you didn't provide the service and somehow that's your client's fault. And this man is coaching how to run a tattoo business.
So I thought I'd finish with this video and I was just kind of watching it back to make sure it was all hunky-dory. I'm just going to do a quick little bit of maths here. So it's currently like 2 o'clock, right? Most tattoo parlors that I know of close at 6:30. I don't know how Keegan ran his business, but that's just going off of my personal experience. The last session, old mate paid for a full day rate. Now, we've heard it many times before now that full day rates are roughly 4 hours with dear Keegs. Old mate had also paid $1,800 deposit expecting to get a finished tattoo. Keegan had only ever planned to do 4 hours, 4.5 tops, and he was still expecting to get paid. because he needed that money to pay rent. He just said that. Such a fucking scammer. I love I didn't highlight it, but this isn't a poor me, it's just my reality. Mate, it is a poor you. It's your D, it's your capital D, defense. Anywho, another hour goes past, and this is borderline harassment now. But in true Keegan form, he expects answers straight away. No response. I will be getting my lawyer to file to the magistrate for the full cost of the tattoo. And he goes on to a little bit more reversal by saying, I communicated it with you. By doing the right thing, I communicated it with you. And we've got a little bit more reverse. You would be really understanding seeing you've been through a lot. I guess it's a different for you when it's the other position. Mate, he's paid for a fucking service. He's not your mate. He's your client, expecting to get what he's paid for, not to get fucked around. Unlike you, he owes you nothing. Again, more legal threats. And this bloke finally responds in the calmest way possible. Hi, Keegan. I understand, and I'm sorry you're in a difficult personal situation at the moment, as are many people. But I've paid for a service, $1,800 cash for one full day, 4.5 hours that was completed, and a deposit of $1,800 cash for the completion of the work that has not been completed. I think it's in our best interest to part ways, and you return my deposit to me ASAP via bank transfer. That is so much more reasonable than I would have been at this point. This man has the patience of an ox. Just quickly, a little bit of a backstory. Keegan was also late to the first appointment. And then let's remember, he rescheduled last minute the second appointment, and then he was over an hour late for the third appointment. If we pry, deposit is lost. Mate, you fucked around his time. Give it back, you loser. And then we have some more threats of lawyers. Bingo! We have the O. Offender. You are abusing me. I'm a very reasonable guy. Not sure why you're being like this sensitive. Tattoo sessions, people should have their whole day focused on that. It was 1 hour. I explained myself and why. This man ain't being sensitive. He's being reasonable and fair and calm. The only person who's getting their knickers in a twist is you, darling Keegan. Anyways, just in case you hadn't realised, he's very much on the attack with this lawsuit. This blue section I highlighted because I just find it a bit strange. It's interesting to me because tattooing in general, there is so many variables, like large-scale work majority of the time. At appointments, clients have to wait around during prep and stenciling and all sorts, and you're 1 hour into waiting on a second session and bailing. Yeah, you wasted his time. It was over an hour. The receipts are there, mate. And we go straight back on to the offender. You're the one who hurt me. It's very Karen-esque of you. Why do we always go to, like, as soon as somebody calls him out, they're a hater or a Karen or, I don't know. I can't even remember everything he said about me. It was a hater, right? I can't remember. Cancel culture. Anyways, moving on. He lays it on thick here. You lack that much empathy, that 1 hour of your time you'd cancel on something that'll be on you for the rest of your life. Yes, if you don't respect me, why the fuck would I let you tattoo me? And how hypocritical that was given my situation with him. But I learnt my lesson, okay? And then we go straight back on the defense. Actually, it wasn't even an hour. It was just under 45 minutes when I arrived. This man literally messaged you with a timestamp when he was leaving. If you were there, why didn't you stop him? There's a lot of reversal here, just putting it all on him.
But then this green, ugh, what? I first appreciate your understanding because if I became homeless, I wouldn't have been able to tattoo anyway. So you wouldn't be able to provide the service and you'd have to give the fucking money back anyways. Again, not your client's problem that you can't manage your money.
Also, I have to add here, I am thoroughly enjoying the I can't afford rent. I'm going to be homeless. I'm going to sue you with my lawyer. Oh my God. I had to go speak to a lawyer to like deal with this bullshit, with this FVRO bullshit that he sent me through. It was $500 for 1 hour to give me advice on how to represent myself. And he's like, oh, I'm going to get my lawyer to file for me on Monday. In what world? You idiot.
And just a little side note here. He sent that message at 9 o'clock at night. This is becoming harassment at this stage. If it's a non-refundable deposit, why is he harassing so much? Is it because he's scared that he's going to have to pay it back? Yeah, because he knows that if old mate went to small claims, he'd likely have to pay the fucking money back. And he continues the next day at around 7 o'clock. And the next night we start off strong with some reversal. What's your thoughts, mate? Are we able to move past positively after 45-minute wait, which is massively normal in tattooing? I mean, I don't know. I'm going to put it out there to the courts of TikTok. Waiting 45 minutes or like 2 hours, which essentially this poor bloke was, that's not normal. That hasn't been my experience anyway. Usually when I've had to wait, it's because I've ended up chatting to my tattoo artist for too long. And then I give him shit for talking too much. And I don't get charged for that time until the needle is on my skin. And then after putting it all on him, we go straight into the offender. I'm a reasonable guy. Talking from experience, Keegan is the least reasonable man I have ever met in my entire life. And that's a big call that I'm confidently making. But you just got up and left. My end is like, make this all right and move forward, and you come across as a man that would do the same too. No. And because he didn't get any response, the next day he just goes straight with abuse. Uncalled for, unnecessary, unreasonable, abusive nature. He's not getting what he wants. Sheesh, I see why your wife left you. Motherfucking what? Who are you? This is a client, not your mate. And he was a fan. You fucked that up, mate, as you always do. And 2 days later, this man of steel responds in the most calm way possible. I'm going to choose to ignore your above comments for now. Given that you were late for my first appointment, charged a full day rate that you only worked 4.5 hours, cancelled my second appointment on the same day of the appointment to reschedule for the following day, and then only to show up only over an hour late. Just quickly before we move on to that next slide, he goes on to say that he's going to pursue legal advice to get his money back. Now, what I have learnt through this experience and through the experience of many other people, many lawyers don't really want to help you unless they get some hefty sum at the end of it. Do your research and fight it yourself. If you think you're entitled to it, then you probably are, unless you have the kind of personality that Keegan has. And it's only been a year. You have 6 years to file a small claims case. I'm no lawyer, okay, but I just think if you went to court, you pay like a $150 fee to go to court, and then you say to the judge, I paid $1,800 deposit for a tattoo that yeah, he started. I paid for a full day rate. He only performed 4.5 hours after being late, rescheduled the same day of the next appointment, and then was over an hour late for the next appointment. I have all the evidence here time stamped in my messages, and then he got all abusive and threatening. Judge will be like, yeah, no worries. Here's your money, sir. Surely. I don't know. I just don't know these days. Mate, kindly go fuck yourself. Wise words, Keegan. You should take your own advice. Oh, and notice how his time got shorter? I was half an hour late. I explained myself. I am a victim. And I have no idea who Peter is or if that's slang or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. And then in the red, he perfectly performs Davo all in one sentence or paragraph, whatever you want to call it. And that line highlighted in purple, this isn't my first rodeo with a Karen. Is it just me or is Keegan the one being the Karen? If you don't do as I say, I'm going to go to the manager. If you don't comply with me, I'm going to get the lawyer on you. You're the Karen. Fucking idiot. Anyways, this is hilarious. He has it all on camera. Now, if you go back to the very first, he tells him to go get a coffee. If it was me, I would have just waited in my car and waited there, listening to music and having a smoke or whatever. And then he goes on to be like, I hope you just don't go through life like this. I can see why your wife left. Fuck me. You've had a tantrum over 30 minutes. Mate, it was well over an hour, like closer to 2 hours. And the only person having a tantrum is Keegan. And this, get past whatever weird emotional state you're in for some reason, unknown to me. You're fucked with his time and money. He rearranged his fucking life to accommodate you and you couldn't provide the service he paid for. And here we go. It boosts up. It was 4 times and now it's 6 times in 12 years. 4 times and ending up having to pay up. Like the story just elaborates from here because they realized how stupid they were. Fuck off. And so shamelessly, he finishes it off with putting it back on him. If you want to stress yourself out, go ahead. And then a little bit of a threat with, I know how it works out from my experience. But it was clearly mentioned and you were fine and then had some kind of tantrum. Oh, no, sweetheart. When you pulled this shit on me, like obviously not this exact shit, but like playing me and taking a run for my money, I had a fucking tantrum. I'll admit that. You have had many tantrums in many of the posts that I have put up with evidence. This man was unnecessarily kind and calm. There was no one would have blamed him for flipping a lid at any point through this. You were harassing and you were threatening and then you were just plain and stupidly abusive for no reason other than not getting your way. If a man really thought that he was going to get his money and then more money on top of that, he would have kept his mouth shut. But you were a scared little baby, so scared that this man was going to take you to court because you knew you were going to lose.
Give me a D. D. Give me an A. A. Give me an R. R. Give me a B. B. Give me an O. O.
And in my mind, that spells Keegan.